community.
No, it's
so
not.
Of how you want to label it, sure.
Your blackness does not supersede anybody else's blackness. This is delusion that you have in this conversation. You are black just like everybody else is black. This is not this outrageous epidemic that's going through the black community, no different than anybody else's community.
It's not just hiding their sexuality and putting women at risk in the black community. What do you want to call it? What do you want to call it?
While I acknowledge that it happens in the black community, it happens in every other community. And that's fair.
An issue that you see in the black community is not necessarily connected to a black issue, because that same issue could be in the white community, the Hispanic community. It's not what you're speaking of is not just for black people. Do some black people experience it? Yes, but so do other people. So it's not a black issue.
But what about if she decides that she wants? But let me ask this question: what about if she decides that for her sake of communicating the problem, she wants to niche it down to it being in?
No, because it misrepresents the actual. It pettifogs
But
it.
here's the thing: because in the market, you can niche down as much as you want to niche it down. She can. So, and here's the thing: we're arguing, or you guys are debating about something that's really not nothing. No matter how you look at it, if you want to look at it from a larger perspective and say that this is a problem, okay, well, you can listen at it. But here's the thing: those are your eyes. You can look at it and you can speak at it from however you want to look at it and speak at it. But listen at this, because we're speaking language right now. And I am having an understanding, and I'm having an understanding as it seemeth unto me, just like you having one that seems unto you. I'm not trying to be right, but hold on. But let me just, okay, so, but and language has meaning, and language has meaning in many of different languages.
It's not my responsibility to give something a title from what you meant, right? All I'm saying is race specific, whether the Indians, the Asians, something that is Asian specific, an Asian issue is an Asian issue, because what that means is that black people, only people that participate in this issue is Asians. A black issue is a black issue. That means that no one else can share in this issue.
Yeah, real quick.
So there should not be a.
Real quick, guys, one mic. All right, look, to just put a button on this so that way we can keep the conversation going. Okay, when we say a black targeted type of issue, okay, that would be like, say like slavery, for example, something like that, where it's just like targeted towards
slavery, redlining.
Well, slavery. Were black people the only one enslaved?
No. What I'm saying is that, like, I don't want to bring this down. I don't want to like reduce this down to just like, okay, this is just a black thing. No, like this is everybody can experience.
This is a worldwide problem.
Yeah.
But no. So the only thing that I was saying, for the sake of argument, because we heard the sister going back with the gentleman, is that nobody has to argue. Get in where you fit in. If that lady, exactly, and if she's speaking from her perspective, who is me, you, or anybody to tell her how to go, how large or how small? She may want to even niche it down and say that I'm gonna take it out the black community, and I'm just gonna take it and make it a family issue within her own family. However she chooses to speak, let her speak.
That's not how that works. And what gives you the right on speaking on that is because I'm black.
If somebody feels how they feel, that don't mean that they gotta project that on everybody. That's
exactly
a billion people. That don't make
this is a general issue. It's not a black toxic masculinity is not specific to black men. You going out like, again, a black issue can be commented on or critiqued by black people. And as a black person, her trying to make it seem like this is a black issue because I am black, I'm going to say this is not a, first of all, just on the English language itself.
Man, you was talking.
No, just on English, she's incorrect. And what happens is when people use improper words, it miscategorizes and it misframes the message that she was trying to convey. Because what she did was narrow it down and target it to a specific ethnic group, when this is not a reference to a specific ethnic group.
So what you gonna tell that sister, that she can't go into her community and speak to the black man? Is that what you're gonna tell her? That she can't do that? So are you gonna tell that sister?
My argument is predicated on the English language.
Okay, so that's fine. So guess what? let's say this, she's right and you right. So that's
not
fine.
true. That's
But she's not wrong, because if she wants to speak on that subject matter, let her speak.
wrong in this.
Exactly.
After
She's right and you right, or she's wrong and you wrong. However you want to look at it.
Okay, all right, guys.
What is all y'all? So like, hold on. I want to talk about toxic. I want to talk about toxic femininity, right?
No, girl, just hold on.
Oh, we can't wake it up.
Hold on, just hold on. All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep the conversation going forward. Sade was just speaking from her perspective. But to make it clear, that this 1,000% is not a black thing. So this is just for everybody, but you can speak from your perspective. So now, here's the thing: when it comes to toxic masculinity, right? Going back to that definition, it seems like they researchers had grouped it into 3 core components, and y'all let me know if y'all agree. One is toughness. Men have to behave in a certain way, and it involves the extreme pressure some men may feel to act in a way that is actually harmful. One is toughness. This is the notion that men should be physically strong, emotionally callous, and behaviorally aggressive. Number 2 is anti-femininity. This involves the idea that men should reject anything that is considered to be feminine, such as showing emotion or accepting help. Number 3, the last one is power. This is the assumption that men must work toward obtaining power and status, social and financial, so they can gain the respect of others. That, in a nutshell, is what researchers feel toxic masculinity is based on. Do y'all agree?
Symbolic, I want to
I do.
on this one. That's my niche, right? So I just kind of been listening, but that's what I do, right? I'm a relationship coach, and I work with women that have experienced unhealthy and toxic relationships. And so what I found with my clients, when I work with them, that come to me have been in very toxic relationships. But what ends up happening as we're going through the sessions, and as we're coaching, toxicity is toxicity. It's not a male or a female thing. Toxic is toxic. And so what ends up coming up is the woman has, a lot of toxicity too. And she ends up contributing to the toxicity as well. And so she ends up having to be healed from that, because it's really other things that's going on based on the 3 things that you just said is very real. All of those things are components. All of those things, happen in the relationship. And the man just end up not being able to take it in the direction it should go in, because there's a lot of emotional trauma going on within the man too. And so it just makes it, make him more toxic. So I just want to say,
understand what you're saying, Miss. I apologize. I'm just trying to keep up with you. What are you saying? This is like you're saying stuff, but I don't really understand.
What part? What part?
The whole diatribe. This is like going low.
How is it toxic? I'm saying he doesn't understand. Are you crazy?
So what she was saying is that as a relationship coach,
He said, ma'am, you are losing me. I want to participate in with the message that you're saying. I'm lost. Can you please rephrase it or reframe it so I can understand? Hold on, but this is important. How is that toxic?
I don't believe it was toxic. I believe it was a question.
No, you keep trying to change the conversation.
What am I changing?
Stop making it about.
She made the statement, and I said I called it out.
All right, that was me, guys. That was me. Desana, I seen you came off the mic. What did you say, Desana?
No, I was saying that I don't think anything's wrong with what he's saying. He's just trying to gain clarification on whatever and elaborate on whatever the woman was saying. Is that right?
So for the male that was confused, and Sade, I heard you too. I got you. For the male that was confused, you said what were you confused about? You felt everything she said like had you confused. What do you want Shaitan to like clarify on?
Nah, it's symbolic. The whole thing was just like, you know, like we can only gauge our own perspectives from our own mind through our own rose-colored glasses. And when these women are speaking, I want to kind of understand what their view is and like what the fuck is going on inside their head. So it's like you can only do that by listening and understanding the words that's coming out. You know, it's kind of like it was left field and it was right field, and it was like, but nah, we center field, but it's left field. So I just want to understand what she's saying and what her point is of her statement being made. That's all.
Okay.
And you know, and respectfully, you may not have been the only person that felt like that. So can I just finish speaking? And so with that being said, I would think that the queen, if she could come off of her mic, address the question, and then for those that have an understanding of what she's saying, then maybe you could even explain it from your way of understanding. Because what I heard is that she deals with women that have been in toxic relationships, and and by matter of fact, let me just mute my mic because I don't want to overtalk myself. Sister, if you can come off of your mic and just kind of explain again to the brother, maybe in a different way, what you were saying, and let's just keep it respectful, because we could do that.
Shaitan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I don't know which part.
I think you were saying that sometimes the woman can contribute to the toxic energy or something. You were saying.
Exactly. Yes, the women can contribute to it, and so when I'm having sessions with them, as each session is going on, it turns out to be something that was going on inside of that person too. And the reason I say that is because I kept attracting toxic relationships. I was in a 15-year marriage where it was toxic as hell. And so once I started healing, I realized that I was contributing to the toxicity as well because of the unhealed parts in me. Right. And so a lot of times when that toxicity is going on, it's going on because there are unhealed parts in both parties. An unhealthy person plus an unhealthy person equals an unhealthy relationship. So if you have two people that haven't dealt with their emotional trauma, both people are toxic. It's not just one person. It's not just a male. It's not just a female. Most people are kind of feeding off of each other in that toxicity. And it's a hard thing to accept for a man or a woman to even feel that they could be contributing any type of toxicity to a relationship. That is very vulnerable. It is raw. And a lot of people, they want to bury their head to it. Either they accept it or they don't accept it. So
let me ask you this: how do you recognize, as a relationship coach, how do you recognize toxicity in relationships? Like, what kind of demeanors or what is toxic to you?
So basically, I deal with extreme cases. So I deal with women that have been physically abused. I deal with women that have been mentally abused, verbally abused. It's just, basically domination, right? And a lot of times when you are dealing with somebody that's trying to dominate you, when they're in an unhealed place, you're automatically going to go into defense mode, right? And so then you got two toxic situations going on, but it leaves scars because the male is the more dominant figure.
Hey, I ain't never gonna lie. This sounds like society too sensitive, symbolic, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Man up, bro. Like, if you don't want to be with that person, don't be with them. If you got game ran on you, and it's like, oh, why? I could make you do. Like, abuse is abuse. That don't got nothing to do with toxic masculinity. And this is what bro was saying earlier. Like, y'all mix the ingredients that don't need to be mixed. Abuse is abuse. Physical abuse is physical abuse. It got a name. You call a duck a duck. So if I slapped her, or I call her a stupid bitch, That's physical, verbal abuse. That's not nothing to do with toxic masculinity.
Well, that's
But
why
there might be underlying
because
factors
women
that
can do the same.
But it could have been a different approach.
Yeah, but a woman could do the same thing to a man, and it's not called toxic femininity.
What I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. Like,
Right, toxic is toxic.
She slapped me. That I can't say she's a toxic woman because no, she just physically assaulted me. That's what it is. Like, we gotta stop doing that. Like putting a sandal on something. Like, oh, you know what? A new shoe. No, it's not. It's a sandal.
I think the biggest thing with this, I think it kind of comes back what y'all are trying to get to the bottom of, which that's what I prompted in the beginning, is trying to like get to the real bottom core of like toxic masculinity. I think it comes back to that definition, and then like the idea that I brought up, where it also states toxic masculinity involves cultural pressures and this is one of the biggest ones. It says it's the idea that men need to act tough, specifically not men or not just like both for men and women, but specifically the idea that men need to act tough and avoid showing all emotions can be harmful to their mental health and can have serious consequences for society, which is how it became known as toxic masculinity.
Yes, sir.
I think an extreme of anything is bad, but some of that stuff is important.
That's 100% correct. You know,
hey guys, can I jump in?
When you're little and you're a young man, they tell you, yo, don't cry. Yo, if this happened, don't whine. Don't be a little girl. That's
right. Well, no, but that's the reason why that's important for a family is because. Well, hold on, that's not necessarily toxic, but the responsibility in society is that the man needs to be. Hold on one second, just 1 second. The responsibility in society and in a family, the man needs to be the backbone of the house. So if the child is crying, if the child is crying.
Hold on, let's do one mic. All right, flawless. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, overspeaking people won't get your point across, bro. Like, we in here together. What I'm saying is, when you're small, they tell you, don't cry. Yo, don't act like a girl. Don't sit this way. Girls sit that way. You don't know that. You learning that from an older man that you influenced by. To me, that's impression. Just like Symbolic said, yo, they made an impression on you. And you have to keep up this persona. What if I'm a bookworm? And my mama got me in church and I'm not a tough guy. Now when I go outside, I gotta be something that I'm not.
Can I speak?
I swear to God, I'll be 30 seconds. And then y'all can have it or whatever. These things that y'all are calling quote unquote toxic are integral for society and the way society is structured. I don't know why these things are demonized. I don't know why things about women are demonized. But as the responsibility I understand that I have as a man to my family, to my community, potentially to the people that's around me, is that at some point that I might need to protect them or I might need to be the backbone of that particular group. So when the child cries and the child leans on the mother, then when the mother cries, who does she lean on? What's the expectation for her to lean on? She expects to lean on me. So if women are saying, hey, in 2023, we don't want to lean on you. We want to be the leader of the household. We want the responsibilities and the repercussions and the accountability of being the head, what it means if you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, even if things it's not your fault, it's still your responsibility. If women are saying that they want to be in that position, then just say that. But from my experience, women don't want to be the leader of the household. Women don't want the responsibility of those things. They don't want the repercussion of those things. So it's important as a little boy that he understands that there's no one going to save you, young man. You need to pull your boots up by your bootstraps. So a woman, and I'll land right here, a woman who is a degenerate, who is a bum, can simply just exist, and there will be some man that comes through, whether she wants them to or not, whether that's the typical one that she wants her to or not, will come in and try to save her. That does not exist for a little boy. You cannot raise.
Says who? Says who? Because there are some that believe that does exist for a little boy.
Who is coming to save the man? Okay, hold on. I won't assume that I'm right, but I will lean on your expertise. Who is coming to save the 35-year-old degenerate male?
Well, the woman always come to save, because again, it's two sides.
Okay. All right. We got a few people that I want to.
Women saving grown men now.
Women save grown men all the time. That's why so many grown men are hiding under a woman pretending to be a man.
Can I jump in real quick, please?
All right, let's do, hey, real quick, one mic, let's do PP, Sandra, Ava, and Ashton. Go ahead, PP.
Hey, Trill, I understand what you're saying on that's really like healthy masculinity, what you were saying about, typical when we think about, let's think about this, guys, because this whole this whole term is a whole new term. It wasn't like, because all of us, women and men, have masculinity and femininity as part of our DNA. The men have more masculinity than women, and vice versa. So all these new terms is just extra stuff. But for the most part, true, what you were talking about is being healthy. Men want to, we once had that community of, men wanting to protect their families and wanted to be able to take care of, their families, the women, the community. That's a healthy form of, men just wanted to be. That's natural from what I understand, and being around men and growing up around, raising my brother, raising my son, you know what I'm saying? So, and I teach them, I've taught them to be protected along with the men that are in my family. And I learned that from men just by being a female. So I think I think we're making it about gender, but it's really not about gender, y'all, because we got a little bit of it in all of us. And I think the thing is, we're making it about, I think the women, I have to say, women, I think you were kind of wrong. And we don't want to, I think I've been in quite a few rooms where we had these conversations before, and they have went crazy back and forth. And I think it's not, let's stop battling, not make it about a battle, because it's all about us, because at the end of the core of it, we humans. So we all come with baggage, because that's really toxic. That's what that is, baggage from other relationships, because we didn't properly do the work on ourselves, or do we needed to do, or experiences. Sometimes it's stuff out of our control that affects us. So, so having this conversation about men and women, and it's really.
Wait, there was a person going after her, and then a person going after that.
Yep, Sandra.
That, I think that people just need to learn themselves. and you need to tap into who you are and what, who you are, and stop trying to be something. I think that people that do deal with toxicity in relationships, things like that, you take responsibility. You're not obligated to stay with anybody. You're not obligated to say certain things will change. And that's just not the way that it goes. You have to, for yourself, take accountability and say, okay, I'm not going to tolerate this, and you need to push on. And stop trying to think you can change a person, because you're not. As far as
Hey, flawless. Hold on, let her
know who can in, And that's the other thing. Besides this independent woman thing, women, we need men. We do. Business owner, very strong woman, but I'll never say I don't need a man. And seriously, especially as Black women, we have that. Also, men, we I feel like men and women, especially in relationships, we can talk, and men should be able to be vulnerable with us and talk to their woman, and vice versa. But we gotta stop saying we don't need a man. Women, we do. We need a man that's to lead. And I think that's another reason why a lot of men kind of veer off, because they have women that say, I have my own thing. I don't need a man for this. I don't need it. I don't need that. Yes, you do. We do. Okay, and I'll let you know. I'm holding the mic too long.
Go ahead, Ava.
Hey, y'all. So I'm just listening to everybody, just taking all of this in. And I really want to speak to
the fact that some of these things, and just the hope against men, these things are institutionalized, strategized, the same way it's instilled in you guys to do certain things. What as men and certain
wait.
And I don't really agree with the word toxic masculinity, because like I was trying to say earlier, toxicity can live in anyone who is unhealed and just raw, unhealed, is out here in the world, that can live in anybody, male or female. And like Sandra was saying, it really boils down to just what you are willing to put up with. You don't throw a banner over the whole gender, toxic people. Nobody says that, nobody, I don't really hear that term a lot at all, as much as I like the point phrase, toxic masculinity. That's a point phrase. Like, it pops up when you're reading this text. You get what I'm trying to say? That doesn't happen with toxic femininity. I really want to say it. 1 second. I just gonna, guys, and that was flawless. I really love everything that y'all were saying. Although I also understand it does go down to language. Some of this stuff does boil down to language. I think what women, I think it's this phrase with toxic patriarchy. There's patriarchy. There's a patriarchy here in this country. It's institutionalized. Like